Good morning. Good morning. We are your Mavens of Motivation, and we're here with you on Monday morning. And we are so excited for where the day is going to take us, the day, the week. This is the first day of the week, the first day. Well, not really the first day, Sunday is, but Monday, your first work day. And bigger than that, it's the first day of the rest of your life. If you don't like something in your life, change it. Today's a good day to do that. And we'll be kind of discussing some ways to do that with you today. So, Barbara, this is Barbara, my friend and my co-host on this show. And we have lots of fun, even off the air.
We do. And Carol, I love what you just said. If you don't like something in your life, then change it. Because you know what? One of the things that I work with my clients is that, you know what? You can't change the past. Mm-hmm. Because the past is, you can only do something about the present, because the past is now, and now, and now. All of that is now past. You cannot do anything about your past. And the thing is that so many people, they don't think about the fact that your brain can only, if you are only relying on yourself, you only know what you know right at this moment. Mm-hmm. So that's why it is so important to listen to shows like this, or work with other people, take courses, whatever it is that you're going to do, listen to podcasts, whatever it is that you're going to do. Because you've heard me say, one of my favorite sayings is, you don't know what you don't know until somebody tells you something you don't know.
That's true. That's true.
But so once we do that, that's when it's in that moment that you are open to learning something new, that your future is unlimited.
Yes. And that's unlimited. One of the things that you can't change, things that happened in your past, but you can change what's going to happen in your future. Exactly. And one of the things is forgiveness. And that wasn't even on our list today, but I feel compelled to say that. And, forgiveness doesn't mean you excuse what happened. I mean, say some horrific thing happened to you, because this is more into my expertise of trauma and things that have happened to you in your past, and how to change it in your future, but also what is it causing to happen to you on a daily basis now. But forgiveness doesn't mean you forgave. I mean, say you were raped as a young girl or something, that I think 4 out of 5 women have been. And so I'll use that because so many people could relate to that. If you haven't been, you know someone who has been. So you forgive that person. It doesn't mean you excuse what they did. It doesn't mean that you're saying it was right. But if you're still holding unforgiveness to them, you have them locked in a jail cell and you're guarding the door. But the thing is, if they have found forgiveness, they're not even there. You're guarding an empty jail cell. So forgive them, but also forgive yourself for having unforgiveness, because it is a sin. So forgive yourself for it. Or if there's something you caused to happen, and I'm not saying right by any means, but something that you did, forgive yourself for it. I mean, yelled at your husband, got angry in traffic. Forgive yourself. Go ahead.
and it's some of the things, and it's so important. And that's one of the things that I love about you and I, Carol, is that when we're talking about something, the Lord is guiding us at this. Somebody that is listening right now is supposed to be hearing this.
Amen.
And one of the things is that when you don't forgive yourself or forgive somebody else, it's like you drinking poison and wanting the other person to die.
Yes.
Yes. And or when you're not forgiving of yourself, you are condemning yourself to reliving that event until you do.
Amen.
And it will come back. It will come back. It will come back. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to share one of the exercises that I do with people to help them do that.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. So it's 3 steps. You're standing in front of the mirror. So important. Standing in front of the mirror. So now say I'm talking to you. It'll be like, Carol, you're going to talk to yourself. You're going to look yourself in the mirror. The first step, though, is to celebrate something that you are doing well, because we have to congratulate ourselves for the things that we're doing well. And that's something that so many women, they don't know how to do. So I don't care if it's that you made your bed this morning and the sheets were really nice and tight. It doesn't matter what it is, but just that I am so proud of you for. So Carol, I am so proud of you for, because you're looking at yourself in the mirror.
Okay, so you're wanting me to do this, or?
Oh yeah, do it.
Okay.
So make believe that you're standing in front of the mirror.
Okay. Well, and I've got my picture right here, so I kind of am.
Okay.
Okay. Carol, I am so proud of you for finally getting the plantation shutters hung today, for convincing Keith to help you to get that done, to get the clutter from the remodel straightened up.
Awesome. You are proud of yourself. This next one, say it to you, make like you're saying it to your picture in the mirror, but Carol, you do not have to answer out loud. But you can think of something. Okay. Well, okay. So Carol, I forgive you for. Carol, so to say that part, Carol, I
forgive you for letting the clutter build up.
Yeah. But lots of times, it will be something from the bottom of your soul.
Yes.
And the tears will flow. That's a good thing.
Because and when you get to those kind of tears is when you've hit the nerve spot. Yeah.
And let them flow. Mm-hmm. Okay. And the third step of this is, Carol, I commit to you to.
Okay. Carol, I commit to you to get the bedroom put back together and all in order before the end of the month.
Perfect. And that exercise is life-changing. Mm-hmm. The things that came up in the first part, it was like, you know what, I really am proud of myself for doing that. Mm-hmm. Because you celebrate it. Yeah. So one of the things that I have people do is do it for a week, or until you can be, yeah, I did that. Yeah. You're celebrating. The second part is you're not crying anymore.
Mm-hmm. And truthfully, if you're not crying, you're not deep enough.
You're not deep enough. Exactly. And then the third part is that you just have that quiet conviction that this is what you are absolutely going to do. And so that was for somebody today. That was not what we planned to talk about
at
today.
all.
At all.
Well, but it brings me to something I do want to share. Right. And clutter is in your house. I mean, it may or may not be in your house. Clutters your soul. Okay. Yes. So all of us have things that, whether it's your email bin that's too full. How many of y'all have thousands of emails cluttered up?
You don't want to know.
And you can archive them. You don't have to just hit delete all. You can archive them until which time they're a year or two old, and you can delete them with freedom. So I try to archive my ones that are necessary, that need to be saved for a record, so that those I know where they are. But that right there, if you every morning, if your email list pops into your face, oh wow, it can kind of, stall's not the word I'm looking for, but it paralyzes you a little bit in business.
makes you feel like a failure in some ways. That, oh,
Yes.
why
I've
have
got
I
to do
done
that.
all
I've
the
got to do
things
that. I've got to
I've
do
got
that.
to
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so think of what it is, because we all have those areas. Mine was that my bedroom has been in transition for way too long. And it hadn't been a real pressing thing because the contractor doing the floor hasn't given us a date yet. So getting our painting and getting the shutters back up, my husband did not see it as a real thing. But the clutter, I realized this weekend or Friday and Saturday that was bothering me. And it's empty except for like a chair and a couple of paint cans, and the shutters and closet doors aren't up. And so that was starting to wear on me. And the cool thing, right before we came on here, we had dinner. And I was thanking him for helping me get those up, because they're like 7-foot tall, big plantation shutters. So, and they're 2 to a package. I mean, 2, they fold, they're bifold. So I couldn't put them up alone. Okay. And so it did take the 2 of us. But I made the comment about how much I mean, we haven't even put the closet doors up yet. I haven't cleaned out the room and vacuumed it and stuff, but it already feels better. And I commented at dinner, and he goes, I can tell that there's a change in the atmosphere of the house. He said, it's not like there's a volcano that's about to erupt. I'm like, I didn't know I was being that way. I mean, I was unaware that smoldering was there, but I became aware of it like yesterday and today. And so that's why I said, honey, we've really got to get this done, because I can tell it's wearing on me. And apparently he could too, especially after the fact.
Right. And and that brings us back to exactly what this show is about. That impacts your motivation and your productivity to do other things.
Well, Barbara, it's like my book. I've been trying to finish my book. And I mean, all I have to do is to put together the thank you and the little introduction. I mean, it's this much of a book. And I just have not been doing it and not been doing it, not been doing it. I think I'm going to get that done tonight.
Yes.
So, yay. Yay me. I'm celebrating.
Exactly. And celebrate it. That's some of the things that happen to us. So right now, I think our biggest tip for today is that if you've lost your motivation, somehow, somewhere, somehow, you are just know that you need to, or that you want to step back into it. Find out what is causing you to lose it in the first place. Just what we're talking about. With me, I am ashamed to say I have probably got 80,000 unread emails in my list.
That is a lot.
I read my email every day, but for some odd reason, I don't delete them. Seriously, Barbara? And then every once in a while, I go in and I'll delete 10,000 because I'll just, okay, I'm going to tell on myself. Can I tell on myself? The last time I really did a purge of email, I found some emails from 2017. What year is this now? 2022. And I still had some from 2017.
When did you do this purge? Yesterday?
No, it's been a couple of weeks, but still.
But still this year.
That's still this year. And 2000, I still had some emails from 2017. So now okay, so that's my commitment. I've got to get this under control. Is to just unsubscribe to the ones that are sending me 2 and 3 emails a week. Unsubscribe if you're not using it. So let's talk email. If you are not opening somebody's emails, then stop the subscribing. Unsubscribe.
Or if they're sending you junk mail, go unsubscribe, because inadvertently, and it doesn't always hit your spam folder. But that brings out another thing. Go to your spam folder. Used to, my email would show me how many were in spam, and it, for some reason, it no longer shows me that on daily basis. So what I've had to do is start reminding myself to do it. And so there's way too many in there a lot of times, but I found some really important stuff in my spam folder just this morning.
Wow. Right. Last week I was on Clubhouse, and one of the gals, we were talking about email, we got into it. And one of the gals that was in the group, she said, well, you know what happens sometimes is that you will subscribe to one person's list and they're affiliated with 5 or 6 others. So now you are getting, and this is exactly what happened to me. Yeah. All of a sudden I was getting emails from people that, who were they?
Well, and because a lot of them are things you don't want, you know.
And they're things that are not appropriate. It's not that they're not appropriate, but that they don't serve me. They're not things that so now that's what I've got. So now that's one of the things that I've got to do. And so in the past, I've just kind of started a new email. So now I've got whole bunches of email addresses and even more emails. So that's one of the things that is on my list that I have got to, just because it's clutter, and it does, every time I see it, it weighs me down.
Yeah,
it really does. It weighs me down.
And what it does is it stops your productivity in other areas that you want to do, or that you need to do. Just like, you know, every time I'd walk through the bedroom, it'd be like, oh. And so it would cause me to not be as diligent at the things I could change. But now, I mean, I walk through there and it's like, oh, I get a little lift all afternoon. I've had a little lift every time I walk by there. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this week, because that big thing that really wasn't that big, but it was big to me, and it was big because it depended on someone else also. Those are the hard ones, when you depend on somebody else to have to do something.
Right. Okay. So then I am going to commit tonight. I am going to unsubscribe from 10 people.
I was going to say 10.
All right. So that's what it's meant to be. Okay. So unsubscribe from 10 people. I'm writing it down. Unsubscribe from 10 people and delete all their past emails.
Oh.
Because you can put in their person and then just delete all of their past emails.
Don't do Carol Henderson TX.
No, I won't. No, I love it. If I did that, I would take out half my life probably. Because you and I do a lot.
We do way too much together.
You and I do a lot together.
Yes, we do.
All
and
right.
Seriously, if any of y'all put some things in the chat, we do look, we do answer. Check it out. Check it out. If there's anything we can do to answer questions, if you need to get a hold of either one of us, we're out there. And we have a Facebook page that this is showing on, or will show on, at
10
Monday. No, that one. No, it's Mavens of Motivation at Barbara and Carol.
Yeah.
It's how you find us on Facebook. So, you know, like, comment, share, you know, tell people about us, because we love doing this, and we love you, or we wouldn't do this every week. We have other things we could do at 10 o'clock on Monday.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You know, and I know we're going to be running out of time here, but one of the things that I think for me is that if you can understand why you're losing your motivation, or you're procrastinating, or whatever, because when you can just take time to find out what's in there, what's behind it, what feeling is underneath it, because when you know what it is, you can tackle that specific reason, rather than just having this vague, you know, who was it in Peanuts that, well, Linus, that walked around with the black cloud over his head? I was
going to say the black cloud over their head. Yeah. And that's what clutter does. You know, even if you're not a neat freak, clutter can, and my husband is not a neat freak, But when I go through and clean the house, and so he goes, oh, it feels so much better in here. He doesn't have a clue why. He still throws things down.
You just know that the energy is different. You just know the energy is different. That's like with me when I have a neat, like the other day, I'm telling myself, that's out here.
We're pretty open.
Yeah. I have a computer that I don't use. It's old as the hills. However, it goes directly right across my corner. It has become like my bulletin board, the screen, because I don't ever use the computer, the monitor, but I've got it all nice and organized that I can look around. My goals are here. My life rewards effort sign is here. One of the things is show up for yourself. It's on my board. I look at it every day. Show up for yourself.
And how many of us don't do that?
And how often do we not do that? And so have it in front of you. Have it in front of you.
Yes. And if you don't have a vision board, get one, do one. I fought vision boards for cool. I fought vision boards for years. I thought, oh, I have it in my head. I have it in my head. And I've known about vision boards and the value of vision boards for years. And I finally did one a few years ago, and I was like, oh, okay. And your vision board will change. And then I had a friend, and his office, he's one of my mentors. His office is set up to where he has, like, he framed his visions instead of just putting them all on one board. And one wall is things in the far future. And then right behind him is the things hanging on the wall framed of immediate, this is what I'm believing for now and working toward. And then over this wall is things that have come to pass. So I did that I don't have a lot of wall space. I have lots of windows, but I, on the wall between my kitchen and the dining room, I did that, and I put all my vision boards framed, and then across the top as they come to pass, I move it up to the top, and I'll write on the glass of the frame what the date that it came to pass. And it's been really fun to see it there and to have it. I mean, my husband's book, and then when it was translated into Spanish, so both of those covers are framed and up there. Different vehicles that we wanted, especially the ones that were earned, are up there, and they're up across the top, and the ones that we're actively believing for are more eye level. And so it's been fun, and we just pull the frame off and go sit it up somewhere else.
Right. I know. I just did a class this past week on doing a vision board. And one of the things that I got out of it was that, revisit your vision boards every few months. And I have to admit, I had done a couple of them a couple of years ago, but they did. And our friend Sherry, and she said, well, Barb, did they reflect what you want now? And I went,
she's so wise.
She is so wise. And so some of it is, she said, well, then take some of the things that are current that you are still believing for and put it on, take off the ones that have either already come to pass or they're still far future. And that's a great way of looking at it. And so it was like, oh, right. So consequently, this is where, and I've just made this one, but now I'm going to go back and change it a little bit. So I want to add a few things to it.
Yeah. And vision boards, it says in the word, write the vision, make it plain. You write it down, you make it plain. And if you think about it, Jesus, when he was here on earth, and the Bible in itself, taught in pictures. They brought pictures to mind, and because your mind can hold pictures, and it can hold music, songs. You can sing songs from your childhood, and you can see pictures from Sunday school or first grade. And so you are a visual being. And so I can't stress that enough. This vision board, and Sherry teaches great class. Like I said, she's very wise, very, very wise. And we're all in another group together, a couple of groups. But anyway, and so, we work on each other and to help us to be better. And you need friends like that. You need friends to motivate you. And yeah, because motivation, it's all about motivation.
Right. And that, and that brings us right back to where we started from. You can only do what you can do with what you know to do. That's why it is so important to be part of other groups, to listen to that, listen to us. I mean, listen to somebody else, find other people to congregate with.
Find your tribe.
You find your tribe. Exactly.
Find your tribe.
Because one of the
and you may have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 tribes. And they don't, because you are spirit, soul, and body. I've talked about this before. You aren't just a flat picture on a paper. You are multidimensional. And so you'll have a tribe of believers that you're with. You'll have a tribe of workers, business owners, employees that you work with. You'll have your family. That's another tribe. So don't limit yourself. Don't be one-dimensional, because that right there is not motivating. You need to, because, and let me also say, being traumatized, for lack of a better word, or being cluttered, confused in one area of your life will affect other areas of your life. So if you truly want to grow and move into your best, then you need to work on it. And hey, let me back to the clutter. This is probably top of my brain because it happened to me today. But if your house is cluttered, if you're a hoarder, if you're just messy, and let me tell you, if you have little kids running around, enjoy them. You don't need the perfect June Cleaver. I'm dating myself. House. You don't need to have everything perfect and spick and span all the time. Enjoy your children. But having a clean house will replicate in them wanting to have a clean house and them wanting to, be more organized. And so you are training them in every moment of every day. And that is your most important job. It doesn't matter if you're working for a wage somewhere, if you've got a side hustle to make money from home, it doesn't matter. Your main thing, if you have small children, is your small children. Now, there comes a time when you need to turn loose of them, these people that have 20, 30, 40, 50-year-olds, that they're still wiping their noses. We need to talk. But I mean, there are those out there. Think about it. And more so.
I know one. He still lives with his mother. He's 40 something.
Well, and there is a time that you may have to move back to your parents to take care of them. That's a whole other ballgame.
That's a different story.
Yeah, that's a different story.
He has never left. And it's like, okay, fine.
I won't even go there.
Oh, yes. But that's his life.
That's his life, and that's her life, and she's got to be codependent
and they've
and some and then there's the people who have children that can never leave because the child is not capable, and they're unwilling to institutionalize them, which is not good for anyone. But I mean, there comes a time when it might have to happen, but it's overused. So anyway, back to what we're saying.
Totally off tangent of what we're actually going to talk about.
This is not at all on our topic list, though.
But you know what? I truly believe that God moves in mysterious ways, and for whatever reason, this is what we were supposed to talk about today.
But what I was going to say, at night before you go to bed, make a list of what you need to get done the next day. Okay.
Yes.
Sit and look at them, pray over them, and number them. And you may not write it, just free write them and number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they may jump all over the page. 3 things. If you get 3 things done, if you get 1 thing done, you may want to celebrate, but 3 things. Don't think you can get your whole list done when you have 50 big projects on it, but concentrate to get the 3 most important done. And the most important is not always the noisiest.
Right.
Sometimes things are noisy, like the squeaky wheel, and we want to take care of it because we don't like the squeak. But sometimes it may be that you need to replace the axle, that it's not the wheel at all. It may be the axle that needs fixing. So pray about what you need to do. Do 3 things, but do this the night before. Don't think, get up in the morning, have my cup of coffee and start trying to write things. Because if you will do it the night before, your body and your mind will process everything. And that's another real important thing. But it processes everything that has happened to you that day and stores it in your soul. If you have chronic anger, if you work in an angry situation and you bring that home every day, you will become an angry person if you don't remit that every night. So every night you give it to God, say, Lord, I know you have me here for a reason. I choose to be here till you move me on somewhere else. And please take all this anger that I feel. Forgive the people, forgive yourself.
Right. Sometimes, and just like a friend of ours, Sean, she just says, do a brain dump.
Yeah.
Do a brain dump of everything that went wrong that day. And then it's gone. Then it's done. Get rid of it.
Because you don't want it in you overnight.
You don't want it festering overnight to wake up the next morning.
But make your to-do list in the middle of the night. Yeah. And you don't want to dream about it all night. And I should have said, and they should have said, would have said, and I should have done this. And I, shoulda, coulda, woulda. But do your list. That is in the future. But in the present, if you'll write your list before bedtime, then when you get up in the morning, it's like it's already kind of settled. You can settle in yourself what the most important thing to do is. In fact, you may want to wait till morning to number the 1 to 10, whatever, 1 to 3, and it will go smoother because the Lord knows what you need to do, and He will start putting things in your path to help to do it, to help to get it in place so you can achieve those goals. So that's a big deal, is to write them down the night before. And plus that keeps you from forgetting, like, how many days have I had hang the shutters on my list, and I finally got to X them all. But there are things that you have full control over. So, know the difference.
Awesome. This is good. Yes, I love doing this. This is fun.
I don't know quite how we need to land this plane, but
I think the biggest thing is to just, forgive yourself for, quit beating yourself up for the things that you're not, or the things that you haven't gotten done, and then celebrate the things that you are getting done. Even if it's that one thing. You've done one thing today that was like, oh, wow, I got that done today. Carol got her shutters up. Celebrate. That's great. That is huge. If you have one thing, celebrate that. And then let the other stuff, hey, it'll still be there. And really, one of the things that I was working on with a couple of gals this week was, if it doesn't serve you anymore, do you really need to, we talked about at the beginning, do you really need to do it in the first place? If it's not something that you need to do, then take it off your list.
Yes.
Shelve it.
And it may be something in the far future.
It might be so far in the future, but because you're not getting to it yet, maybe there are some other instances, some other circumstances that need to get done first before that thing. Shelve it for a while.
Yeah.
Come back to it later.
And it comes to mind that we have this other friend in another group we're with, and that is a mostly a health and wellness coach group that we're in, and we talk about, get up, have your quiet time, do your exercise, eat your proper nutrition and stuff like that. And she has the best saying, and her name's Jill. So Barbara knows what I'm talking about. She knows what I'm going to say probably. She says, if you miss, and like she'd be talking like exercise or something on that, but in anything, if you miss, don't do it twice. And when you fall down, get up and get up quick. So say you're on a diet and all of a sudden you go and you binge on Twinkies and Ho-Hos, okay?
Dairy Queen.
But do that, but then forgive yourself for doing it. And so you don't want to carry the guilt, because that'll just add to it, make you want to go do it more, and beating yourself up. But get up, forgive yourself, and go on. Don't, you get up quick. You don't spend 3 days at Dairy Queen.
Right. Exactly.
One time. Yeah. Exactly. One time. And if on that note, if you are dieting and exercising and trying to change, definitely reach out to either of us, because we've got some great
been there, done that
information. Yes. And if you could see our before pictures, you would definitely call us, but but we won't go there. But I've forgotten where I was going with that, but it was good.
You know what? That's okay.
Yeah. But anyway, it wasn't a business thing. It was a motivation thing. But when you do fall off the wagon, forgive yourself, go on, and don't beat yourself up, and do better the next day. And don't think, so many people think, oh, I'm on this plan and I ate, a candy bar or a cookie. I'll just blow it for the rest of the day. And they go out and eat 10 Dairy Queens the rest of the day because they had one cookie. No, it's one cookie. Enjoy the cookie, celebrate the cookie. If you feel bad about it, forgive yourself about the cookie, but then get back up. Don't ruin your whole day over one cookie.
Right.
That, exactly. I used to be that way. It's I had a cookie. I might as well eat everything I can see.
Right. And I'll start again tomorrow. I'll start again next on Monday. Or I'll start again next month.
And in the meantime, I'll go to Dairy Queen 10 times.
And in the meantime, I will go to the
yeah.
And here's tripod.
Oh.
Here's my tripod.
Hi, tripod.
All right.
Okay. So, well, listen,
Carol, this was great.
Yeah. We thoroughly enjoy having y'all come on and join us. If there's any topics or any stuck spots that you have in your life that you want us to approach and maybe speak into, if it's something we feel like we can do it on here, we'd be more than glad to do that. So thank you for coming on.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.